Good morning, everyone. This is your host, the Matt Weinberg. I have the pleasure of sitting with none other than the Mr. Showtime of Riot Pro Wrestling.
Mr. Showtime in the building, man. I am excited and I'm happy to be back here after Riot Pro Wrestling, the Resurrection. It was an awesome show. I cannot wait to talk about it.
Awesome. Well, first and foremost, Mr. Showtime, I know you're busy. Thank you for taking your time out of the day to come talk to me and the fans of the Wrestling Burrito and the fans of Riot Pro Wrestling. So thank you all for listening and for watching now, since this is now on YouTube. But first and foremost, congratulations on the first show. It was a great show last weekend. Riot Pro Resurrection was absolutely fantastic. I'm getting really excited that we're getting to sit here and talk about it and kind of go over details. So first question, first show down, how was it?
Man, I cannot tell you how amazing it was to be at the show. The atmosphere, the electricity from the crowd. I know that there was a lot of fans out there for Riot Pro Wrestling, and they have been wanting to see us come back and to be the GM of this company and where we are going to go. I am so ecstatic for what we're going to do next. That crowd was amazing, and they showed so much support. So once again, thank you to all of the fans that came out. Thank you to everybody that supported us. Thank you for everybody who's given me messages, who has reached out to us, all the wrestlers that came out, everybody, because you guys made it truly an unbelievable moment. And I promise you, this is only the beginning for what Riot Pro Wrestling is going to do.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I was luckily in the crowd. I was taking pictures. I was sitting there. Had a couple friends with me. We were all kind of going around, especially a couple friends with kids, so we were enjoying it from the eyes of a kid, which was really cool. And Coach Jay was actually in the back doing pre and post match interviews, which If you haven't checked that out on the other YouTube video, really fun. There was actually a legit fight that broke out during it, so pretty fun stuff. But yeah, that crowd was surprisingly a lot more electric than I thought it was going to be. Coming from only really wrestling shows I've seen, there's WWE or like Impact back in the day when they were at Universal Studios, which was really cool to go to. It was a different feel. Like, even going from a regular WWE show to an NXT show, the arena goes from that big to that big.
Yep.
And most of the time with NXT, it's the same people that go every single week in and week out. So they've kind of built like a family. And that's kind of more what it felt like in terms of at this arena, because it was even smaller, which is not a bad thing, right? You're closer to the wrestlers. You're closer to the action. We got there a little bit early and kind of helped set the ring up and stuff, which was really cool to do. And at one point, I kind of looked and I was like, those seats look a little too close. So last second change, we moved the seats about 6 inches back. Yeah. And luckily we did, because at one point there was a wrestler that jumped out of the ring and to do a suicide dive and would have landed smack dab into the front row. So it was...
Get a chainsaw.
Yeah, and there was a chainsaw, which that's a whole other topic. But it was an awesome experience. It was cool because a lot of the fans know the wrestlers. Okay. And even though it's Riot's first show back and stuff like that, they're indie wrestlers, so they work for different promotions and stuff like that within the Central Florida space. So there was one lady that literally knew everybody, was talking shit to everybody, and it was absolutely amazing. And what's his name? Frank Santorelli, the manager for Brothers in Arms and all the other kind of heels you would want to say, basically just gave her some money and said, "Go buy yourself some new teeth." At one point. So, absolutely great energy in that. So moving on to our next set of questions. As a first-time GM, is there anything that surprised you in Is there anything that surprised you about managing a show from behind the scenes?
There was a lot, man. Speaking of, the fights and stuff, and I know that video will come out shortly, so I don't want to ruin that for anybody, but it's just the fast pace. I have been all over the world. I've been in a lot of different companies. I've worked for a lot of different promotions and stuff of that nature. I've even been able to perform for President Barack Obama a couple of times and some other ones. And really, there has been nothing that is the same feeling of what I've done just from the resurrection, man. Yeah. It was nuts. I mean, You're talking about the Metropolitan Youth Program, which my dad started in Rock Island, Illinois, and being in front of almost 80,000 people in Circuit City Classic performing, being out to Washington, D.C. and speaking in front of congressional committees, and nothing was like the electricity of coming out that first time. And then in the back room, just all this stuff backstage, from walking into there, knowing that things might change, getting dressed, getting excited, getting ready, knowing the fans were there as well, having people get hit with kendo sticks and fights breaking out in the back room. It was just nuts, man. And I am so excited to be able to be in this. One of the biggest things that was told to me when I came was, Mr. Showtime, I know who you are, I know what you've done, but this is going to be the hardest thing you've done in your life when it comes to business. And I hope that you're ready. And I did not expect what happened, but I am so excited. I'm so ready. I cannot wait for the next shows coming out, and it is just going to be electrifying what we're going to bring next. We had all of the champions. Every title was on the line, man.
It was fantastic.
Dude, and it's crazy. Now all these champions are going to have to face somebody else. So who's going to be next? There was a lot of people who got in my face that, not thinking about it, I wish things would have went a little bit different.
Well, we'll get to the specifics on that a little bit later.
It's been crazy, man.
But to start off the show, you were actually invaded technically by Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling, their CEO, owner, face of the brand, Alex Red, and their champion. Man, what's the deal with that? Like, we got bad blood? Like,
I know that he was kind of upset. When you have been by yourself for a while and Riot Pro Wrestling is gone and you take over and you do your own thing and you take some of the wrestlers from Riot Pro Wrestling and you are the top of the mountaintop, I guess you can say, in Florida, and then out of nowhere, this guy shows up. He claims to be Mr. Showtime. He claims to be somebody who's going to bring Riot Pro Wrestling back. He claims for a great show, a good crowd, and he wanted to come see what was going to happen. Unfortunately for him, he was not happy about what he's seen and thought that he could go into my front door and come and talk.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, right? You get punched in the face, you get two reactions. You're either going to punch back or you're going to fall back. So luckily, and for us, he kind of punched back a little bit, but it was cool because at the end of the day, like, my true belief is competition will breed competition.
Yes.
So let it be Riot and ARW, let it be WXW and Mineola, which is a little bit north of Orlando.
So many crazy ones. So many great promotions.
There's a lot of great promotions in this area, but competition will breed competition, which will make everything better, which now go back into the bigger picture of it with AEW coming in and WWE. Like, we're now going to hopefully see better storylines, better pushes, more towards the people that we actually can see as wrestlers, and not just, we look good, so we're going to make them stars. Everybody that's saying it's WWE versus AEW or Riot versus ARW, it's not. It's helping the competition build the competition better, so overall the fans and the family that are a part of this wrestling community get better wrestling overall.
This is true, man, and I think that's the biggest thing is when you look at these wrestlers that we had, they're some of the best talents you're going to find around. Yeah. And what they wanted to do is show off for the crowd and for the respect of Riot Pro Wrestling and what that has done. A lot of wrestlers came to me backstage and were just so happy to be able to come back home from where they were before. And I think that's the biggest thing is being able to come back to where you started from, getting a chance at the titles. Some of those guys were the first champions ever. Yeah. I know we're talking about JD later, but JD was one of the first heavyweight title champions ever.
Yeah, I mean, you look at someone like JD Amazing, and all biased outside of it, like, because he is a personal friend of the podcast and all that sort of stuff. But like, his size, his athleticism, his charisma, like, why isn't he NXT or why isn't he bigger than he is? You take someone like that, you take my favorite match of the whole entire night was the women's title match. Hands down. Like, Lexi Gomez, who is now the Riot Pro Wrestling women's champion, put on a clinic, and she is absolutely amazing. She is a fan.
Hard-hitting, too.
Yeah, she is a fan for life. Love her look. She just oozes that that champion kind of feeling. And I knew that from the moment she walked out, she was taking that title. So, Lexi, hit us up. We want you on the podcast.
Come on the show.
It'll be a fun time. And but hands down, like, you have talent there that can be so much more. And now they have a great platform to become so much more. As we talked about it, as we talked about in the JD podcast and your podcast beforehand, let JD not be the JD that we know, but the JD Showtime can grow, and Showtime's going to grow a whole lot of people.
I hope so. I mean, that's the thing. And, you know, for me, it's giving them that platform that they need, is making sure that they have a place to do what they do best, and that is wrestle. That's their art. So, you know, with Lexi, the biggest thing is I was so excited to have her in the show. She's awesome, but all of the women were awesome. Yeah. All the wrestlers were awesome. And the fact that they decided to bless the stage on the ring and be at Riot Pro Wrestling was awesome. And it was an honor to be there with them, to just learn, to understand what they do. Because all Showtime did was give them a ring and a place to go and a building. But they tore the building down, every last one of them. And I cannot say how happy I was to just be there and just get to know the industry from their eyes.
But not only that, like, and it's not even just the talent in the ring. Like, the referees were great. The ring announcers were great. I don't know about that sound guy. Kind of messed up a couple times. But even the dude selling food was great. Yeah. Hot dogs and queso. How could you go wrong? I mean, they didn't have a burrito, which we'll figure out next time. But we'll just bring the burritos next time.
That's the way you have to do it, man. You gotta bring something sometimes to wrestling, you know, and make it your own. And that's kind of why Riot Pro Wrestling is going to be great. Yeah. And for the shows coming forward is because we are going to allow fans to tell us what they want to see. We are bringing in the wrestlers they want to see as well, and we are doing what they want. You know, we had you guys in the backstage, so, you know, Coach Jay was doing an awesome job. Glad he didn't get hurt because I don't have insurance for him.
There was a couple times he almost did.
Yeah, you know, he'd be okay. We'd throw some dirt on him. And
I mean, I'll tell you, my favorite moment of the whole entire night was rewatching the footage because obviously I was out front, Coach Jay was in the back, and there was a point where I forgot who, but was threatening Coach Jay. And Coach Jay just gets on his knees and begs like Paul Heyman, I'm just a podcaster. I will get you that clip. It is absolutely fantastic. Got you. But that just made my whole entire night. That was worth every single dollar that we spent. That was worth every single minute driving. That was worth every single mile driving. Just for that 3 seconds of Coach Jay pleading for his life.
Coach Jay, it's okay. I know you thought you were tough, but I told you once you got to the back, kendo sticks, chairs, everything was out there for him. Unfortunately, we've seen how tough he really is. But it's okay because he didn't get hurt, and that was the biggest thing, and we appreciate you guys coming out.
I mean, we can barely afford to get you on here. I don't think we can afford medical for Coach Jay.
Man, you know, and that's the thing really was I'm happy that we had a chance for you guys to come out. And I want to say, you know, for the Wrestling Burrito, we appreciate you guys being there. You guys are always welcome with Riot Pro Wrestling anywhere you go. And if you're not paying attention and watching these guys, this is an awesome podcast. Listen to them. You guys are on iTunes, Spotify.
Everywhere you can get a podcast.
Everywhere you can get a podcast. Now with the YouTube out there as well. But I just want to, again, you know, I know you hate this, but just so you guys understand that Mr. Showtime's episode was the most listened to episode here. So just make sure you guys understand that as well, that you know what time it is.
It's okay. I mean, we'll get more episodes, and maybe one day we'll, you know, get someone on here like Chicho Adams to overtake you. Cause
good guy, man. You know, I know we'll talk about this at some point, so I don't want to rush.
So let's kind of go through this. What we're, you know, do you want to go match by match and kind of go over it? All right,
let's do it, man.
So the first match that we had was a 4-on-3 handicap match. We had Team Venom versus Team Amazing. The Green Light Hit Squad winning that match versus Team Venom, which then put JD Amazing as the captain into the fatal 4-way match at the end of the night for the championship belt. Absolutely great match to start off. Well, you know, you kind of like seeing those wrestling matches that just or shows that shoot really, really high, and then kind of bring it down a little bit, and then shoot back up by the time that your main event is coming along. But this was kind of nonstop, boom, 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 boom.
People were everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Dude, they were hitting hard. I seen like a human centipede and flipping people
there
over.
There was a human centipede on that. The whole entire crowd was just like, wait, that's a human centipede. That's a human centipede. That's a human centipede. What is going on?
I've literally never seen that happen in a wrestling show before. So that was crazy, and the fact of them all over the place. I've seen people jumping all over the place. I've seen people on the ground. I've seen people hurting. Man, it was nuts. I did not expect it to be that hard hitting, but I told everybody, JD and Venom hate each other. And so I knew that when they got into it, that it was going to be magic. And, at the end of the day, JD won. And he put himself in where he wanted to go.
I mean, that's a cool thing. I've seen Venom a few times here and there and all that, and the dude is a stud.
Yep.
Really was excited to kind of see him in action. Thought that I didn't expect JD to win. Just 4-on-3 handicap match.
It's crazy.
You're already down in the dumps on that one. But the Green Light Hit Squad coming back and making some really cool things and some cool stories to kind of go through the rest of the segment. So then we had a tag team turmoil to decide the new Riot Pro Wrestling Tag Champions. So to start off, you have Critical Mayhem, who pretty much ran the gauntlet on that match.
High flying all over the place. Man, those guys are amazing.
So if you haven't gotten a chance to check them out, the way that I can best describe it is like the tag team of Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Very, very close to that style. It was very cool, but with their own spin on it, obviously. Did not expect them to go that whole entire time, but super glad that they did, just because it was awesome to watch them. Then you had a couple other people in there. You had Anarchy in there. You had Brothers in Arms in there. You had Dylan D and a mystery partner, which
he paid off, by the way.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Like, at the end of the day, this is about competition.
I mean, but what do you expect from a guy whose catchphrase is "suck my ass"?
Dude, it's such a weird. I just think back to when he was in the office, he was sweating. He was taking off clothes. Dude is so weird. I signed him just because I wanted him to get out.
Just to get out of the office.
It took me a week to get that smell out of my office, man. But he paid somebody. It didn't work out.
But I do have to say, the outfit was on point, Dylan D. The outfit was on point. The Golden Girls, hands down. Hashtag squad. So, what was it? Brothers in Arms.
Hard-hitting, tough squad, man. They came definitely ready to go. Not too excited for how they came at me and how they took the championship titles from me when all I tried to do is present it to them.
But by the way, all of these tag championships, they look great. So whoever did the design on them, whoever did that, I mean, shout out to the mystery owner of Riot Pro Wrestling. Sure, getting that done, probably taking the gold from your personal collection of gold, and melting it down.
I had a few pieces that I could spare. Definitely a few pieces, man.
Cool. So we'll get into this nice Young Lions division that Riot is going to have. That was an absolutely great match. So we have Remy versus D3 Roma. If you don't know who D3 Roma is, go back to the Raw Reunion show and look at the Braun Strowman piece. It didn't last that long for D3, but put on a good showing though. Yeah. But you actually have D3 going over in this match versus Remy, but nonstop action this whole entire match.
Remy's a stud, man.
Remy's a stud.
This is, something he just started.
Yeah. So
it's been, I think, 11 months or so, almost a year that he's been doing this. And, I had a chance to talk to him just briefly backstage, and I told him, man, a young lion, man. That guy is going to be somebody you want to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Especially in Riot Pro Wrestling, because I know that he's hungry and he wants it. And to go against D3,
so now my question is this. I mean, do we have future plans for this Young Lion division? I.e., like, we have the heavyweight champion.
Yep.
Are we going to have a Young Lion champion in the future, like a cruiserweight kind of champion or something like that?
We will have something definitely like that. Cool. Obviously, we retired the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
We didn't want to call it that. We wanted something else. We wanted these guys that are hungry, these newcomers that really want to show off their athleticism, high-flying, tough, hard-hitting guys, and that's why we changed that name. And Remy is just the first person that we're going to show you guys that is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to show you what's next. for this division, man. I'm so excited. I think that's probably the one division I'm excited the most about.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got somebody like D3, who obviously was just on Raw, who's been all over the place. You know, he did a lot of different things. And now, man, you have him in here, and you have Remy, who is taking...
Sorry, Kovu the Labrador is coming in here.
He's first time he's met Showtime, so he's happy to see me. But coming in, man...
Showtime always brings the dogs biscuits. So, Showtime is not only a good businessman and a good person...
And Starbucks.
But he's a dog lover. And he did bring the show Starbucks. So, not only is the Matt Weinberg happy, but Craig in the back is also happy, too. Hey, move.
But yeah, man, so it was been exciting, man, to see those guys go on it. Somebody who's a vet going against a newcomer, man.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited.
That's actually surprising to know that Remy's only been wrestling for a little under a year because,
I
mean, he was fearless, absolutely fearless. I mean, you talk about motivation, talk about this. I love the name of the division, the Young Lions. I mean, because the big thing is, are you going to be a lion or a sheep?
Yep.
Someone that's hungry, someone that just kind of goes through the
Gotta
herd.
eat.
So, yeah, I mean, absolutely fantastic stuff going there. Love D3. Love the interview after the match with D3, who decided to cut a promo on Braun Strowman, who absolutely destroyed him the week before. So, kind of cool. So then we were supposed to have an open challenge from Chico Adams.
So, unfortunately for Chico, he came out and wanted to have his open challenge. And
you made the right decision on that one. So, Mr. Showtime said, hey, no one wants to challenge you. In all honesty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert you into the Fatal 4-Way. Now it's a Fatal 5-Way for the championship.
Yep.
Before we get into that last match on the card, I know we've already talked about it, but let's get into this female Fatal 3-Way kind of deal. You have Sophie versus Lexi Gomez. And originally on there was supposed to be Reagan as well. Reagan not able to compete, so was replaced Reagan with Raven, making a Riot Pro Wrestling debut.
Yes.
So great stuff from that match. I know we've already talked about it. Sophie and Lexi, absolutely amazing. Raven did a wonderful job as well. You could kind of
tough as nails.
Tough. I mean,
chair in.
Yeah,
dude, I lost my mind.
Yeah.
When we didn't know what was going to happen. We knew that Raven was hurt, and unfortunately she couldn't make it out, which is fine. That happens, especially in wrestling.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's funny because nobody knows this yet, and I'm sorry, D3. The Matt Weinberg was the one that kind of ratted you out, but I was at Publix Thursday, and I texted Showtime. I was like, yo, you might want to check in on your boy D3. He still kind of has a limp on him. But he's good.
Yes,
he performed amazing. But it just goes to show how tough all these competitors are, and how even though that fourth wall was kind of broken 20 years ago, with how wrestling is scripted, quote unquote. But the athleticism and the skill and the pain is real.
Trust me, the pain is real.
The pain is real. We'll find out later why the pain's real. I'm surprised he didn't show up in a neck brace. But yeah, I mean, you could kind of tell it was Raven's first match, but not for long. She was great. She was right in the thick of it. But she was the first one to get pinned, and then Lexi pinning Sophie to become the Riot Women's Champion. Absolutely great match. So then we're going to get into the Fatal 4, then change into the Fatal 5-Way match. So before we get into that, what is the deal and the infatuation with Eric, Chico's manager, and Chico? Like, why? I mean, I understand why from a process of, make it a little bit harder for JD to win a little bit and adding him into the Fatal 5-Way, but what happened?
So he was supposed to have an open challenge, and he came out just like he said he was going to, and that was the way it was supposed to be. And somebody was supposed to challenge him. I don't know what happened. I don't know where they were, but nobody in the back came out to challenge him that was supposed to be there for him. And, one thing that I stand by as Mr. Showtime is I'm going to give the crowd what they want. I said that we were going to have that, and we did. Nobody came out to it. I had nobody else to put him there. So, at the end of the day, I made the best decision I could for the fans.
I mean, if you're gonna pay the guy to show up, might as well have him fight instead of just come out there, get a check, and leave.
Yeah, and and I don't agree with how they did stuff and the talking and the way they acted, but I will say that I have the utmost respect for all of those wrestlers and what Chico's done in his career. His manager kind of talks a lot. Way more than I need him to talk.
As a good manager should. I mean, I'm just an advocate.
Yeah, I guess. But, I wanted to make sure that the fans came for what they wanted to see. And we had him on the show, and we wanted to make sure that he was going to compete. So I put him in that fatal 4-way to make it a fatal 5-way.
So, obviously, you make the right decision to put Chico into the fatal 4-way, now making it a fatal 5-way match. It was pretty funny because we were like, oh, cool, Chico's in the match, like me and, the friends that we're sitting with. Right. And we're like, oh, Chico, you're amazing. But nobody else felt the same way because Chico is an asshole. Everyone basically was like, Chico sucks, fuck you, Chico. Yep. Did not expect him to be that way because on Raw and SmackDown, when he's been like a doctor or a security person or whatever, he just seems like a cool dude. But that's not the case. And his manager kind of even doubled that. So we're trying to actually get Eric on here to talk about Chico and kind of what they're trying to do and everything like that. So that'll be interesting and coming shortly to you. But so you insert him and, the crowd kind of views it as, oh, this is just one more hurdle for JD to overcome. He went in the handicap match. Now he's in this match. Now we're adding a fifth person. So this fatal 5-way match now is JD Amazing. Oops, wrong one. JD Amazing, Chico Adams. We have Vertigo, who I was super excited to see. Yeah. Finally, I've seen a lot of his stuff kind of around town and all that sort of everything, but he was really cool to watch in person. And then we have Zach Monstar and Aaron Epic. Zach Monstar is a Monstar. The dude came out with a chainsaw.
A damn chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, we don't
almost
have anything
almost cut this old lady's head off.
Dude, those guys are crazy. He's nuts, by the way. And scaring the people in the crowd. Throwing chainsaws anywhere.
I kind of liked it though.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I mean, that's the thing about Riot Pro Wrestling. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's coming. So for them, that guy coming out, hitting people, throwing chainsaws all over the place, putting people in chairs and diving on them, and just everything, man. That is what you're going to get every time you come to Riot Pro Wrestling. You're going to get the best show possible.
Awesome. So, let's talk about this match. I mean, great talent in this match, great moves, great, awesome stuff. It's funny, JD is actually texting me right now, as I'm sure his ears are ringing because we're about to talk about him. Okay. But so match gets going, it's going great. All of a sudden, JD actually gets the 1, 2, 3 and picks up the heavyweight championship belt. But whoever he was on top of, don't remember who at this moment, I actually think it was Vertigo. Had his foot on the rope and referee didn't see. So in comes Mr. Showtime, says, hey, it ain't going down like that. We need a real true winner. JD, I don't believe that you want to win this way, so let's restart the match. Yeah, so that's already strike 1 or 2 in your book, I believe, in terms of JD. So then the match kind of goes along. Stuff is going crazy. People are flying everywhere. Both referees get knocked out. One gets hit in the jaw. The other one gets kicked in the chest, which I saw was absolutely brutal. Yep. And then Chico covers JD for the 1, 2, 3, but with a spin because there was no referee there. So you take it upon yourself as a GM to go in there and screw JD over. Well,
I wouldn't say I screwed JD over, okay? What happened was my referees were both down. I didn't have anybody else in the back. All I had to do was make sure that at the end of the day, the fans got what they wanted to come for, and that was a legit person winning the title. I mean, dude, the title was on the line. We had to have a winner, but we had to have a winner the right, proper way. And the way JD won wasn't it. And it wasn't his fault. It's the referee's fault that did not see that leg. But at the end of the day, I had to do what was best for what we were trying to do, man. And I came in there kind of the 1, 2, 3 the proper way. JD did not get any shoulder up from that time, and that's why he lost.
So, Chico Adams is your new Riot Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations to Chico. As much as that pains me to say, because JD is a personal friend. Man, you don't say that, because I think you had a plan against my man JD. Amazing.
There was no plan for it. Did you see how annoying, Chico and his manager were? Do you see how they talked to me? Do you think that I would have wanted for them to be the winner of that match? There was no way that I thought in hell that he would win that match, right?
That's true.
But at the last, I have to give it to whoever wins, and that is what we do.
You gotta do what's best for business.
Yeah, and Riot Pro Wrestling needed that way of an ending, because Riot Pro Wrestling is about great action, hard hitting, top of the line talent, but also you win fairly. And at that moment, unfortunately, Chico won fairly.
Well, we'll debate on fairly, yes or no. But obviously, give Chico the belt. JD's in the ring. You go to explain yourself what happened and go in for a handshake. JD accepts the handshake at first and then hits you with the TKO.
I can't believe that that's the way it happened. I went back. I did what was best at that moment. And I watched the videos, okay? So I watched the videos, JD. I get it. I understand what happened. You feel like you were screwed over. You weren't screwed over at the time. I did what was right. I seen that you were out. There was no referees back around. So what was I supposed to do? I counted the 1, 2, 3, just like anybody else would do in that situation, because I had to make sure that we had a champion. We couldn't go on disqualification. Was that the way to do it?
No,
I couldn't keep starting the match back over again. Both my referees are down dead. I mean, I literally checked them. You see me? I checked on both referees. One, I think his jaw was broke. The other one, I think they caved in his chest. There was carnage everywhere. I had a guy with a chainsaw that was making sure that the damn chainsaw didn't go back on. He was knocking people over with chairs. It was people all over the place. So I did what was best. I jumped in the ring, counted 1, 2, 3. There was no shoulder or anything that came up from JD at that time, and he lost, unfortunately. I know that he thinks that I screwed him over, but I'm here to tell you I did the best thing I could to make sure that at the end of the day, the fans left with an actual champion. And I stand by that.
It's true. That's very true. So that was Riot Pro Wrestling Resurrection. Before I kind of give you the floor, Mr. Showtime, I know we kind of talked about it off air, kind of what's next, but what can you disclose right now?
Man, I can tell you guys that for the fans out there, we are not going away. Riot Pro Wrestling is here to stay. I said that from the beginning. I'll say that every day till I'm blue in the face. Riot Pro Wrestling is back. And I know everybody that messaged me, that messaged the Riot Pro Wrestling Facebook page. I know you guys have been wanting this for a while, and now you have it, and we will deliver. We do have more shows coming up. I cannot give you what those shows are. But if you're not following Riot Pro Wrestling right now on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Riot PW Official. Again, Riot PW Official on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you follow those pages, because right now is the best time for wrestling and Riot Pro Wrestling as a whole.
And also follow Mr. Showtime on social media too,
yes,
because
please.
You're going to find out that stuff on his page as well as the Riot Pro Wrestling page first.
The Mr. Showtime on Instagram. You can find out all the backstage stuff, all the news, everything that's going on, where we're going to be at. We'll put it everywhere out there for everybody, guys. And I promise you, the next show is going to deliver just like this. And the rest of this year is going to be Riot Pro Wrestling year.
Cool. Without any further ado, you have the mic.
I just want to say once again, thank you again, the Wrestling Burrito. We appreciate you guys having us out here. but also again to the fans. I cannot tell you how excited I am for what's to come with Riot Pro Wrestling, and for you guys that are out there, all the fans out there that have messaged me, messaged Riot Pro Wrestling, that have talked about how awesome the show is. We are here to give you what you want every show. There will be new talent, new wrestlings, new titles, new divisions. Everything is coming. Riot Pro Wrestling is here to stay. And if you are not following Riot Pro Wrestling right now, make sure you do that. Because, as always, you guys know what time it is, right? It's Mr. Showtime. And that's the time it's going to be.
I wasn't expecting that. So, again, Mr. Showtime. Oh, he's got the glasses on. It's like Ash Ketchum when he puts it on. You know what's going on. Mr. Showtime, thank you for your time again.
Sir, it's a pleasure.
Look forward to many, many more of these. We're actually in talk on contract between the two of us for maybe a monthly Wrestling Burrito interview based on just Riot Pro Wrestling between the two of us. What's going on, what's happening, doing that sort of stuff. And look forward to many more of these interviews with the wrestlers of Riot Pro Wrestling coming at you in the future.
Gotta make sure you have it, man. You know what time it is. Let's riot.
Let's riot indeed, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you. Let us know how the YouTube is going. It is at The Wrestling Burrito on YouTube, at The Wrestling Burrito on Instagram and on Facebook, and at Wrestling Burrito on Twitter, WRASSLIN Burrito. And leave us a 5-star review on wherever you're getting your podcast. That is the best way to make sure that we can grow. And we'll see you at the next episode or the next live event.
And maybe next time, Showtime can help you guys grow a little bit more, too. I'm just saying.
I mean...
Be the wrestling podcast. Showtime can grow. We need that on a shirt.
That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying... Well, here's my idea for a shirt, right?
Yes.
Take this little burrito guy.
Yes.
With the Wrestling Burrito kind of underneath him, right?
Yep.
Put it as like a pocket, right? But then on the back of the shirt saying, "Our guac is free."
I like that.
Merch coming soon.
Follow these guys.
See you guys. Peace.